5.
Coming up on UCF Nightly News, a Florida economist has high expectations for the Sunshine State. Find out why he believes economic growth starts with an improvement in the housing market.
A recent Cuban policy makes traveling overseas easier for many Cuban Americans. We'll tell you how the new laws will impact businesses in Cuba.
And new changes to popular spots on campus are right around the corner. Later, we'll tell you what students can expect to see the Student Union. Nightly News starts now.
Good afternoon and welcome to Nightly News. I'm Brian Dominguez.
And I'm Valeska Gil. Today's Friday, January 18th. Good news may be on the horizon for the Sunshine State with a fiscal cliff solution in place. One University of Central Florida economist predicts a big year for Florida's economy. Last month's UCF Institute for Economic Competitiveness published its 2013 forecast for the state of Florida. IEC Director Dr. Sean Snaith anticipates that Florida's economy will outperform the national average in 2013. Snaith warns that any economic recovery will happen only if politicians can avoid government spending cuts scheduled for this spring. Snaith explained that Florida's economic growth will stem from the state's recovering housing market.
So, rising housing market will help spending. More spending is going to encourage and cause businesses to hire more. And then we get this sort of virtuous cycle going on where the labor market improves, that helps housing market improves, and so on. And we're starting to see some of this dynamic play itself out.
IEC publishes both local and national economic forecasts quarterly. Their next publication is scheduled to release in late March.
This past Monday, the Obama administration lifted travel restrictions, giving Cubans and Americans the opportunity to go in and out of the country with a passport for the first time in 49 years. This change allows Cuban Americans the chance to visit families back home without sneaking onto the island. Nightly News reporter Anna Rodriguez explains what this big change means for both countries.
Since the 1960s, Cubans who left their country without permission lost their property and rights to the government.
Those who did return to the island could only stay for a short period of time. With the new travel rules, long extensive paperwork is replaced with a simple passport.
Osnia Hernandez, a Cuban native, explains what the open borders mean to him. It means something because for the most part we can go back and visit our families. It means something better. Cuba's new regulations could open more possibilities for both the American and Cuban economy. But Mauricio Claver Caron, director of U.S.-Cuba Democracy Political Action Committee, says those passports come at a high price.
There's an economic motive also to this decision. The Cuban government has huge prices for the passport process. They want Cubans to have to pay more. They want Cubans to receive money from relatives abroad in greater quantities so they can pay for this passport process. And they want Cubans to be outside the island more.
In Orlando, Anna Rodriguez, UCF Nightly News.
Hernandez also mentions that he looks forward to seeing his grandfather back in Cuba.
Could potentially help cancer recovery. A recent study by the University of Manchester involves the tails of tadpoles uncovered an important link in the battle against cancer. The study published earlier this week shows tadpoles may have a significant impact on cell regeneration. Manchester scientists identified the active genes during the regeneration of tadpoles' detached tails. They found that molecules called reactive oxygen species, or ROS, play a major role in regeneration. Scientists say during the regeneration process, they found high levels of these oxidants, such as hydrogen peroxide. We take antioxidants to fight these same ROS oxidants. UCF Medical School professor Dr. Carl Chai says ROS molecules are useful in stopping cancer cells from splitting.
You would see at least the theoretical application of,
you want a reactive oxygen species to stop this from going on. Okay.
Chai also says antioxidants decrease ROS molecules, which may actually slow down cancer recovery. He adds that this is stunning information since many people believe antioxidants are beneficial to their health. Time now for a first look at our weather. Lucas Thompson joins us with a look at our first forecast.
The forecast is chilly outside.
Yeah, pretty chilly. I was not expecting to take a light jacket with me this morning. Current conditions are as follows. Right now we're looking at a high of 66 today. Humidity a little less than what we're used to around this time of year. Expect some high winds and a 30% chance of rain. You'll see some overcast conditions, but probably no rain.
Thank you, Lucas. Still ahead on Nightly News. One college at the University of Central Florida uncovered a loophole in the Senate elections process that's causing controversy among students and faculty. We'll explain what the university is doing to prevent this from ever happening again.
And recent crimes prompted campus authorities to warn students to opt in and receive alerts when danger lurks around campus. When we come back, we'll show you how to sign up for these notifications and why they are important.
Five senators from UCF College of Engineering suddenly resigned from their Student Government Association. Nightly News reporter Rebecca Burmel investigates what caused the dean's office to get involved.
Senators representing each of the 13 colleges at UCF usually fill the SGA Senate meetings. But because of a recent discovery that students falsely added a major to represent a different college, many Senate seats are now vacant. The College of Engineering Dean's office found a loophole in the system. Associate Dean Dr. Charles Riley explains why he took action.
When the students in engineering and computer science aren't represented by their peers, I think that's a problem. I want to make sure that the voices of our students are heard in the Senate.
The Senate President also took action, filing this notification of noncompliance, stating senators must give up their seats or suffer the consequences. This issue went beyond the walls of SGA, affecting students like former Senator Victor Lai.
I just wish for some actual reform and for some oversight and for them to have less power so that it's more fair to the students.
SGA is now responsible for filling the 5 vacant seats, adding another challenge to their busy agenda. In Orlando, Rebecca Bormel, UCF Nightly News.
SGA is now accepting applications for the open Senate seats. To learn how to apply, go to nightlynews.ucf.edu.
The University of Central Florida dropped nearly 10 spots on Kiplinger's top 100 public colleges list. The list shows whether students are getting the most bang for their buck. UCF went from number 33 to 42 on a list measuring public universities' education value based on quality and cost. Kiplinger is a Washington, D.C. based magazine that gives business forecasts and personal financial advice. Kiplinger's top public college list depends on admission rates, students to faculty ratios, and graduation rates. Mark Wojno, the senior associate editor for the Kiplinger magazine, believes UCF's drop in rankings doesn't reflect the school's progress.
The fact that, if a school falls off the list by a couple places doesn't mean that school is necessarily bad or a negative thing. These schools are are the cream of the crop.
3 other Florida schools rank higher on the Kiplinger list over UCF: the University of Florida, Florida State, and the New College of Florida.
And universities across Florida are launching a campaign called Aim Higher to eliminate tuition increase for next year. Their focus is to inform Florida residents about the importance of investing in higher education. This is the 4th consecutive year that UCF had a 15% tuition increase. University presidents and student governments across the state requested $118 million for the university system next year. Colleges won't increase tuition if they receive funding from the state. Meanwhile, UCF reduced administrative costs and energy consumption to help students save a little more money. Congress will meet later this year to determine if Florida's colleges will receive funding for next year.
After only 2 weeks into the spring semester, the UCF Emergency Alert System already appeared in inboxes and text messages twice throughout the UCF community. When students receive an alert, it tells them the emergency situation and an approximate location of the instance. Students like Borona, who don't get the alert notifications, understand how important they can be to prevent danger. UCF emergency management officials are encouraging students to log into MyUCF and update their emergency contact information, so a current phone number can notify each student. You can also register your night's email and a backup email alert in case you have in any danger on MyUCF.
Chilly weather today. When we come back, Lucas Thompson tells us what to expect for the next few days.
A little later in entertainment, UCF Theater opens its doors yesterday for its first spring show. Rebecca Bormel takes you behind the curtain with a close-up look.
The Ticket Services counter in the Student Union has a new look and home. Ticket Services offers discounted ticket to events like theme parks, concerts, and services like the Safe Ride Taxi Voucher program. The new and improved Ticket Services counter includes cheaper tickets to Tampa Bay Buccaneers games, Daytona Speedway's events, and more. Ticket Services is moving down the hallway from their old location in the Student Union and is upgrading to 3 counters instead of 1. The Activity and Service Fee Director Paul Constantino says the expansion is needed to help the large amount of students who use Ticket Services and cut back on busy lines in the Union.
Much like Ticket Services, the UCF Print Lab in the Student Union is expanding to include more computers. The Print Lab currently has 14 computers and 2 printers with a 10-minute time limit for students who need to print on campus. The Express Print Lab website reports that in the fall 2012 semester, more than 126,000 students visited the Union to print. The lab is now moving down to the hall to a bigger space and will offer 24 computers and 4 printers, along with a larger and less crowded waiting area for students.
Natalie News is proud of successful UCF alumni, and starting today, we want to showcase fellow Knights that are going above and beyond for what they love. This week, Lizzie Wargo is our alumni spotlight. She graduated from UCF in 2011 and is now the CEO and creator of Market Callers. Market Callers is a nonprofit organization that focuses on minimizing financial hardship and improving the quality of life in African villages. The organization pays craftsmen from all around the continents to make things like bags, scarves, and jewelry. Then, Wargo distributes them on her website. This helps the craftsmen make more money for their village by selling their products in bulk to Market Callers. She offers this piece of advice to current Knights.
I didn't think when I was graduating, like, I'm gonna start this company. I took the first step, which was I identified a need, and I thought, you know I'm good at this. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but I know I wanna make a difference. And I know that's what so many students at UCF want. They wanna be part of something bigger than themselves. And a lot of people just don't know where to start. But really, it just starts with a simple idea.
All of the products come with a bio about who made your merchandise and where they live. You can check out the full Market Callers story and catch up with other successful graduates on our website in the Alumni Spotlight section.
Now it's time to take a look at what's happening in the UCF Theater Department. Rebecca Bormel is here to give us the latest.
Thanks, Brian. What do you get when you mix a bold storyline and 1790s France? Danger. The UCF Theater opened its first spring show earlier this week, and Nightly News has your front row seat to a behind-the-scenes look.
The show is about 2 people with a sick sense of game and fun, and it is fun for them to ruin other people's lives.
It's about deception, it's about love, it's about passion, it's about lies.
I play the Marchesa de Metui. I'm the master manipulator. Even Valmont is under my control.
Valmont is deceitful, he's charming, he's very likable. It's a period piece, so there's a lot that goes into it. There's movement, the language it's all about the language.
It's like a weird sarcasm, but they mean what they say. Oh, the costumes. They're beautiful, they're huge, and you'll notice throughout the show, Valmont and I, we get darker.
You kind of leave the theater just a bit disturbed.
I think you should see it because it's a different view of humanity and what we're capable of.
Dangerous Liaisons will run until January 27th on the UCF Theater's main stage. For more on Dangerous Liaisons, head over to our website. Now let's take a look at the weather. Lucas Thompson has our forecast. Where did all this cold weather come from, Lucas?
Thanks, Rebecca. The cold weather came to a surprise to a lot of us, and you will see a lot of it as we move through the week. Taking a look at today through the state of Florida, you're going to see 62 in Tallahassee, a little warmer down there in Miami, and here in the homeland, 66. Taking a look now at the national temperature map, you're going to see a lot of snow up north, they are not the only ones experiencing cold weather. Down here as well, couple rain chances for us throughout the week as we move on. Probably won't see much rain, but you will see the overcast and hazy look. Now looking at precipitation, up north, a lot of precipitation with the snow. Down here in Florida, you'll see this precipitation will move through the state of Florida as the week goes on. That, again, will contribute to the overcast skies. Looking at the 5-day forecast, we are going to see a little warmth as Sunday and Monday come around, but we will drop right back down to cooler weather. You're going to see some high winds as well, so expect a lot of wind that you probably aren't used to. Now let's go right back to the desk, Valeska and Brian.
Thanks, Lucas. Still ahead on Nightly News. It's been a slow week for UCF sports, but a big soccer announcement puts UCF in the national spotlight.
And Ross Gottschalk gives us a quick look on what to expect this weekend from your Knights under the lights. Sports is up next.
It's been a slow week in UCF sports, but one former Knight had a big afternoon on Thursday. With the 6th pick in the Major League Soccer draft, the Colorado Rapids selected UCF Knight Deshaun Brown. Formerly a transfer from Alabama Mobile, Brown played center forward for the Knights and led the team with 13 goals in the 2012 campaign. While Brown is just now taking his talents to the professional level, 5 former Knights are still battling for a National Football League championship. In the NFC, defensive end turned fullback Bruce Miller and his San Francisco 49ers will face off against veteran cornerback Asante Samuels and tight end Adam Neasley with the Atlanta Falcons. In the AFC, wide receiver Kamar Aiken and the New England Patriots will take on offensive tackle Ja Reed and the Baltimore Ravens Sunday evening. Current UCF athletes will also be active this weekend, starting on Saturday with men's basketball. The Knights will look to bounce back from a heartbreaking overtime defeat last week against East Carolina. The team will travel to Texas to face the Houston Cougars for a 6 o'clock tip-off tomorrow night. As for the women's basketball team, the Lady Knights will look to break a 2-game losing streak when they host Southern Mississippi for a Sunday matinee game. You can also catch the UCF women's tennis team as they play all weekend as they host the UCF Invitational. Now taking a glance at the national sports landscape, former cyclist Lance Armstrong opened up about his long-suspected drug use, confirming in an interview with Oprah that the 7-time Tour de France champion used performance-enhancing drugs throughout his career.
I view this situation as one big lie that I repeated a lot of times.
Armstrong confessed to using a cocktail of substances, including testosterone, cortisone, human growth hormone, and a blood booster called EPO. That's all for sports. Back to the desk with Valeska Gill.
Thanks, Ross. Let's make one last look at our weather forecast.
Lucas Thompson is here with another look at our 5-day forecast.
Thanks, Brian. Looking towards the beginning of the week, we're going to warm up just a little bit. High of 75 Sunday and Monday. As for the weekend, expect cooler weather, some winds, and some overcast clouds. But it should be a good weekend weather-wise all around.
Yeah, should be nice.
I am going to be in my house because I'm not getting exposed.
That's right, Lucas. This weekend starts with a parade in honor of Martin Luther King Jr., featuring a student group from UCF. Tomorrow, Black Student Union will pay tribute to the civil rights leader in Orlando's 29th annual Martin Luther King Jr. Parade. The tribute begins at 10 o'clock in the morning in downtown Orlando, followed by activities and entertainment at the Lake Eola Amphitheater. For more information, log on to nightlynews.ucf.edu. This Monday, UCF will close in observation of Martin Luther King Day.
That's all the time we have for now. Thanks for joining us. If you have a story idea or a comment about something you've seen here on Nightly News, email us at nightlynews@ucf.edu.
And be sure to check us out online in both English and Spanish at nightlynews.ucf.edu. Join us here again next week. Until then, have a great weekend.